Good evening, everyone. Welcome into Off the Rails. It's a beautiful Monday evening, and this is a special installment here. I have an incredibly special guest. You guys know him. It's one of the Badge Bros, the incomparable, the amazing Nez. Hello, Nez. How are you, man?
My goodness, Jason, I'm doing great. I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. This is a long time in the making, man. Been watching your streams, watching you this baseball season, this draft season, grind away, doing the shows, and I love it, man. I love that you're taking this on and doing these shows, and you've provided some really good insight that's helped change my mind a couple times during this season. So this will be fun.
Yeah, I was joking earlier in the Discord. I was hoping you could save me from myself with all the Mike Trout slander and Carlos Rodon slander happening, but we'll see how it goes. But for those of you who may not know Nez, he is one of the Badge Bros. They have a awesome YouTube channel here. Just go search Badge Bros. I can't talk. Please, make sure to check them out. Subscribe to their channel. They do a lot of great content. They do everything that is Underdog, daily contests, best ball contests, you name it, they got it. You can also become a member of their channel. I'm a member myself. I just pushed that button a couple weeks ago. But you get some individualized, unique streams available to members only. Those have been a ton of fun as well. You can also find Nez. First off on X at Nez Takes, and then as a contributor to the Stacking Dingers channel here on YouTube. So alongside Dark Sheep, our guy Baseball, B3 ISBOL, and a couple other contributors that pop in and out on that show. They do a lot of great stuff, everything from, just like beginning introduction to MLB best ball at Underdog to individual position breakdowns, data from last year. That's another great channel to check out too. So Nez and I are going to try to simultaneously hop into a lobby, draft our own teams, and just kind of see how this goes. So coincidentally, this is actually going to be my 100th dinger of the year.
Nice.
So I saved number 100 for you, Nez. So
I love it. Are you trying to get to 150?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, good Lord. We're talking in the Badge Bros chat earlier, and the topic of how many drafts someone had done came up. And so I looked and I was like surprised. I'm at 261 right now across all the contests. I have 115 bullpens, 99 dingers, 40, so 20 in each bunt, and then 7 little eliminators. So
that's impressive, man. It's a lot.
I've been out here.
I know.
But
I was just gonna say, I mean, like, it's once you get to a certain point, like, maxing isn't like necessary. Obviously, like I'm a completionist, and I've got I need to get in here and like I want to, but like it's definitely not necessary. And I sort of feel the I don't know if burnout is the right word, because I'm still enjoying it, but thankfully, I think the draft landscape has changed so much that it's helping keep the drafts fresh and keeping me on my toes as I draft these, because my normal 17th through 20th rounders are not there anymore. So I have to adjust, and it helps me differentiate my portfolio, because I am really, really concentrated right now, and I'm not sure I'm ready to, reap what I sow if that doesn't go well.
Yeah. It's a very good way to get, you guys talk about it all the time on the Badge Bros channel about getting exploitative, right? How do we exploit the contest? How do we differentiate? And I think what you've been doing so far, that's part of that strategy, is you've been really going all in on a few guys specifically, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Josh Naylor, Vinny Pasquantino, Key Brian Hayes, not to give away the secret sauce, but
no, open book with that stuff.
Yeah, but you're really leaning into these guys, and it could really, really pay off, and it could go really, really badly. But if it does really, really pay off, like, you're cooking with gas,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've seen this style of strategy. I mean, obviously, like, the caveat is you pick the right players, but I was typically like a very much a flat exposure bro for a lot of best ball contests, and the best results that I had were in the 2022 Dinger, I believe it was the year before last. I had like 3 finals teams, and that was really cool. That was like the best sweat that I've had for best ball outside of like playoff best ball ever. And last season I was pretty flat outside of nailing like Mitch Keller, which I thought was going to matter a lot. I was like, oh man, got Mitch Keller, like
You were there.
I'm ready to go. And then
Yep.
you look at my exposures, and then there are a lot of busts also on that list. So I've seen it work well with others that have gone hyper exploitative and just trust themselves. I feel like I'm in the streets enough, consuming enough info, doing enough drafts that I think I have my edges. So why not just go for it? Like who cares?
Yeah.
Like it'll be a lot of fun. At worst, I'm gonna have fun.
Exactly. And that's how I viewed last year as my first year. I didn't make a final, which was sad. I had 6 dingers in the third round. Either. None of them got through. Yeah, it's really hard. But the entertainment value of what I net lost was, I mean, it was so worth it. Getting to watch the baseball games all games through a different lens, getting integrated into the community. It was all great. Noah here's got a great question. Said I do 261 drafts. How? I've been drafting since November, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure I was in the first or second bullpen draft.
I think
like
you were
5 minutes after Underdog sent out that contest was open. I was like, well, here we go. So
if you want to, it's very possible. It's very possible. You just gotta live on the app like we do, and you'll get there. I think too, I like you mentioned, like didn't make the finals last year. Neither did I. I think, doing season-long best ball, getting the reps, because we only get to do this once a year. We draft dailies 100-something times a year. We're all good mid-season, but the act of drafting season-long best ball, I think, definitely has its merits, and you learn a little bit, right? Like you figure out what did well the year prior. You figure out if it was variance or if there's like lessons to learn, and then you apply that to this year. And then we'll apply it to next year. And like, it's becoming, increasingly more solved, but the reps help you get there. So yeah, we didn't make any finals, but it's the lessons we learn along the way, Jason.
Right. It's the lessons we learn. It's the friends we make. It's right. All good. So let's go ahead and try to get into a draft.
All right.
Let's go ahead and click the button in 3,
5
2,
more.
1.
Nice.
All right.
Woo, that was close.
It was close. That would have been brutal. One of us would have been hitting the plane.
I would have pushed a plane.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's take a look at the room here. I got the 4. Our guy Noah Sock Muffin, who's been killing the daily streets.
Oh my goodness!
I'm sure you've seen this guy. He's been crushing.
Man on fire.
Yeah. Got Braden here in the 9 hole. He pops in on a regular basis. Nez, it looks like you got the 10, which I kind of like the 10. I don't know how you feel about that one.
10 is fine. 10 is, you get the last, of the outfielders, or, if you want to go Strider or Freeman, you can do that too, which I have been doing a little bit more Freeman at 10. It's really, it's kind of nice. I think I would prefer 9 because then I can at least get like Jordan or Tatis, but Tucker is where like I start to blur the lines, and for better or worse, maybe that's a little bit of a flaw, but I do, I pick and choose. I really do.
Yeah, I have elected to kind of condense my first round ownership on a few guys. Obviously the first 4, it's just kind of random, but I don't care. Aaron Judge still has as much upside as anybody in the first round. So if he falls to me at 4, I'm clicking his name. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm loading up, man. If he falls to me there, I'm taking him. There's kind of talked about it today a little bit, but yeah, he has like real life red flags as far, you don't want your guys to be injured, and he has an injury history, but the fact remains is that his week-long ceiling is almost unmatchable. I mean, obviously Acuna is there, but we're playing for first place, baby. And
Exactly.
he still has that upside. So I'm not wavering, for better or worse.
I'm not either. And I think that's a big difference between how I'm drafting or how I've been drafting all year this year versus last year. Last year it was like, how do I advance? Right? Who do I think is going to help me advance? I don't care about advancing this year. Like, would I love to advance 30%? Of course.
Yeah.
But to me, if I don't make a final, it doesn't matter. So, and then within the final, you got to have the right team to be able to take that thing down. So when I look at the archetype of players that I'm trying to target more often than not, especially in the first round, I'm just looking for the guys who can go absolutely nuke for a week or two. And then if they get hurt, they get hurt, whatever. I can't control that, but that's how I've been approaching it this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to take the more ceiling oriented approach, and it shows when you look at my exposures. And oh well, hello, I get a little Corbin Carroll here.
There you go.
I will take that. I like that little combination of floor and ceiling there with Corbin. But I don't have like any Stephen Kwan over here on Underdog. It's just not something that I've been opting for. Now maybe that is a little strange when hello, Luis Robert, love that. Maybe a little strange when you consider that I have a decent amount of Brandon Nimmo, but yeah, the Quan floor play is not something that I'm opting for, and I think I'm going to go Freddie Freeman here. I think I'll take the Corbin Carroll Freeman rare combo there. I don't get a lot of Freddie Freeman because I've been fortunate in rolling these top 10 picks this season, but man, I would love to have more Freddie Freeman because when dailies come around, he's a top 3 pick.
Yeah. So I have been primarily prioritizing Bobby Witt as like the first infielder in. And then I looked at my Freeman exposure and it was at like 6%. I was like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to force him in a little bit more. But it's kind of funny. We were talking about Trout earlier today.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he's getting older. He's 32. He's going to start slowing down. Freddie Freeman's like what, 36, something like that. And all he does is mash. That's it.
Like Trout has so many more good years ahead of him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he really does.
And again,
really get that.
And you guys have talked about it on various streams. I believe we have kind of a generational opportunity to get a cheap Mike Trout here. There is a ton of risk in there because I had a little trouble staying healthy lately. Let me make this pick real quick. So I started with Judge. I'm just going to go crazy with power here. I'm going to get Alonso right now and we'll see what happens. I love pairing Judge and Alonso together. I mean, you're looking at potentially 100 to 110 home runs between two players. Like, that's hard to pass up.
Yeah, that'll play in this format. But like you said, with Trout, he does have the injury red flags for sure. I wonder though, the Angels clearly know this, right? Trout clearly knows this. Like, hey, I have had trouble staying healthy. What if we took measures a la, rest and the NBA and the way that they've been very proactive and, conserving their players? Like, what if he just plays like five games a week for a good bit or something? Just like some sort of measure taken place to ensure that this guy can stay healthy. It wouldn't surprise me. I hope it happens. I hope they do something because baseball is clearly better when he's on the field. That would be awesome. And I think too, and maybe I just have way too much like preseason optimism. You can kind of squint and see like an okay lineup for the Angels.
I agree.
Like just okay. Like I know that we don't draft them a lot, but it's really not as bad as people think, in my opinion.
I agree with that. And yeah, they lost Otani, obviously, and
Mhm.
you're not replacing him. But
No, no.
you know, they've got the young first baseman who I don't know if he has much power, but
Yeah, he's
um,
an interesting player, but he's still projects to be a above average bat league wise. Maybe for first baseman, he's a little average, but projects to be above average for a first baseman. And they drafted him last year, which is crazy.
it is crazy.
Love the Seager pick, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. We're getting a guy that we should be getting in the probably mid second round at the beginning to the middle of the third round right now. And it's because he might miss like a week. And I don't
Yeah,
care about that. I don't
no,
care.
me neither. I'm honestly like pretty perplexed at the Corey Seager stuff, but I don't know, man. There's just been, I mean, yeah, the injuries. I just think that there is sort of a bias or a group understanding of Corey Seager as this guy that just isn't as good as he is or something. I don't know what it is, but I think it dates back to his Dodgers, like his years with the Dodgers when he sort of like underperformed. And then like all he ever did was just hit the ball like as hard as hell and not get those like awesome results that we saw last season. Um, at least that's how I sort of came up. Like that's how I started with Corey Seager, was like not thinking that he was really worth um his cost. And then like last season happened, and I'm like, oh man, yeah. And then I'm just like fully bought in after that. Plus the lineup is filthy.
Mhm.
I have like 28% Corey Seager. He's one of my flag plants. All right, Freddie and Corbin Carroll here. I don't do a lot. I'm going to do Ozzy Albies and just simply take a really good hitter on a really really
Yeah.
really good baseball team. Sometimes it's just that simple.
Yeah. Sometimes not to get too reductive or into the, you know, the typical slang we use here in the best ball
Uh-huh.
streets, but sometimes, man, you just got to play the best plays. You know,
Yep.
don't overthink it.
Sometimes the answer is just the best
Yes.
players. Uh,
Yes.
this is your 100th dinger. You've been doing a lot lately. How have you, not to play host here, how have you changed your strategy as Dinger has gone on? Have you noticed like taking different constructions, like drafting different positions at different points in the draft? How have you kind of changed your approach?
First off, you can do whatever you want on this
Come
stream.
on.
So if you want to play host, I'm good with that.
I'm very curious.
I'm good with that. First off, I want to acknowledge we got Turn Me Up in the chat. Thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate you. Of course, our guy Billy Jones, Noah, Sock Muffin, my guy Ricky. I know you didn't make the draft, but we'll do another one soon. Braden's in here as well. So thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate you. To answer your question, again, been drafting since November.
Mhm.
So I would say that my I don't know, my proclivities or my strategies definitely have changed over the course of draft season. And they kind of ebb and flow with how, like, what the lobbies are giving me too, you
Yep.
know? So I was targeting pretty early in drafts. I was targeting that, like Kevin Gosman, Pablo Lopez, like that first tier
Mhm.
ish of ace starters. I would try to get one, maybe two, depending on the build, because I think those guys can separate quite a bit in any given week.
Mhm.
But as zero pitcher has become more in vogue these days, it's a little harder to make up that offense later because infield is getting pushed up. Outfield's kind of like tailed off a little bit, but you still don't want to fall too far behind at that position.
Mhm.
And I'm just look, I can't stop drafting Brandon Nimmo, and I want to stack him with Pete
Yeah.
Alonso, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we'll do that real quick. But I think what I'm trying to do for my last probably 20 or so, I think I want to end it right about 120 of these drafts.
Mhm.
I am prioritizing 776 builds now. And I am usually waiting until that 6th, 7th, 8th round to get my pitchers at this point. Just trying to load up on as many elite bats as I can before I start grabbing guys who are, you know, maybe some post-hype sleepers or maybe like a Tariq Skubal who clearly has the stuff, but We don't really know what his innings are going to look like. So that is kind of my sweet spot right now.
Yeah, I like that, and that's where I've started to gravitate towards too. Is like I knew I had a problem like drafting too many 7 outfield teams. I'll let you go ahead and
Okay.
make this pick here.
I've been grabbing Gosman quite a bit lately.
Yeah,
because
you're feeling okay about that?
I
What's
don't
what's
know,
I don't know what the latest
honestly.
is on him. No, go ahead. I don't want to talk you off it. I
No,
don't want to talk
no,
you
I've
off
been
it.
doing it a little bit too much lately. Let's have fun and go Tyler Glasnow.
There you go.
I don't have as much Glasnow in this contest as I do the bullpen. And obviously there's pretty massive inherent injury risk with him. But I mean, when he's on, there's one starter who has more upside than him, and it's Spencer Strider. And even then, you can kind of, like you said earlier, you can squint and you can kind of see Strider 2.0 in Glasnow, but he's got to throw at least 140 innings for that price to pay off.
I think if it was a perfect world and they were able to go inning for inning with one another, that Glasnow would have the better season. Like maybe Strider gets more Ks, but I bet Glasnow would have a better overall body of work. He's a pretty nice dark horse for Cy Young. It's just like, can he actually get to like past even like 160? And he really needs like 180 to win the award. They do, and I like them, and I like the writers' idea about that is like rewarding innings. I think that does have its merits. Yeah, I was gonna. What the hell was I? I was about to say something.
We were talking about
6. Yes. Yeah. So I was doing way too many 7 outfield teams. I'm not mad at myself for it because I was doing, I was pretty much doing my trio of Frelick, Davis, and Wallner like every single time for a while. And I started to get more comfortable being uncomfortable with my 6 outfield builds. And let me see here. Do I want to did Wyatt Langford go? No, he hasn't, right? No.
No,
okay. I'm sorted by ADP. I've been flip flopping. Okay. We'll go Evan Carter. Yeah. So I've been trying to, and I knew I needed to do this where I needed to be comfortable being uncomfortable at outfield because, more often than like, if you're not using your infield, if you're not using that flex as an infield player bat, then you're likely losing the flex is like what I was like trying to like get through my head. I'm like, you don't need Wallner on this team. Like let's instead, or if you do take Matt Wallner because you want him so bad, Nez, like do it differently. And so what I've been doing now is trying to just like punish my lobbies at infield. And like, my flex is going to be that infield, like one of my infielders, but I want to have the option of many different infield players for that flex. I kind of stumbled over that explanation, but I'm really just trying to bully the hell out of everybody with the flex essentially. And we've got a ton of pitchers on this board right now.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm gonna push it and take Christian Walker.
The stack. Yep. The Arizona stack is probably my favorite one in the entire draft.
It's sneaky, man. It's sneaky.
It's sneaky. It's easy.
Very easy.
It's very affordable. Especially like you started with Corbin Carroll. You can absolutely get Christian Walker. It's a little hard to get Walker and Marte if you get Carroll, because most likely you're in the middle of the draft, and it's Walker and Marte are pretty close to each other, so it's kind of hard to get them together.
It is.
But I love Eugenio Suarez this year. I think that offense is a great upgrade. That park is an upgrade. The dude, prior to last year, like just
had a really solid body of work. Really solid.
I mean, he was like 30 bombs a year. And then if you want to get super wild in the 20th round, the Arizona Diamondbacks 5th hole hitter is just sitting there for you that nobody drafts. Gabriel Moreno. So I am on the clock, and
much purple, and it's really good purple. Like this is my range. I'm hoping.
Yes.
I hope you don't I hope you and Sock Muffin didn't just start a run, because I'm banking on like one of these guys to make it back to me, pretty please. But I don't know what that. Fuck.
Well,
I think
here's
Noah just well, it wasn't Noah, it was the pick right after me that broke the seal. But I'm gonna blame Noah since he's in the chat.
Yeah, that's accurate. But yeah,
Damn, that's such a good range, man. That sixth
really
round is like is pitcher gold.
It almost feels like as long as you don't draft Aaron Nola, you can't lose. You know,
I'm light on Nola too. I'm
no.
really light on Nola. I'm scared. Like I know he just signed the extension, and it could very well have just been variance last season, but he was getting hit really hard.
Yeah,
like really hard.
Yeah, but we would see flashes of it. Like he'd have, and maybe this is just me misremembering, but
no, you're right.
It felt like he would have like 4 good innings, and then he would just get demolished in like the 5th, and that would be it. It was like, yeah, I just felt like every time I watched Aaron Nola, I was angry last year because
it didn't make sense. He burned me bad. I had a lot of him, and yeah, I'm like, sure he can regress, but I don't know exactly how much he will regress in a positive fashion. Obviously,
I'm sorry to do this to you, my friend, but I'm going to take Grayson here.
It's all right. I got too much.
I have quite a bit too, but I love pairing. Like, do I want to go 3 pitchers in a row this early? Not necessarily, but again, this is a different build for me.
Yeah,
I'm getting 3 absolute. Well, what I'm hoping are 3 absolute aces.
I think they're aces. I do.
Yeah, I love the change of scenery for Dylan Cease.
Yeah, I was surprised that people aren't like more excited about that. Because that like the biggest thing for me is like, how often is this dude going to get a win? And like, is there any incentive for this dude to be pushed because he's on a bad team? Like, this is everything. Right. This
yeah.
I don't know if people really quite get like this is a pretty big deal. He's on a team that wants to win, and a little bit of a park upgrade, like not like substantial, but an upgrade nonetheless, I believe.
Yeah, guaranteed rate field was 18th in park factor the last rolling 3 years, and then Petco was second to last.
Mm-hmm.
So a decent park upgrade, but a huge defensive upgrade because the White Sox defense was all kinds of bad last year. And I don't know. I just also just from a mental standpoint, I could see that the White Sox clubhouse, I think, was just toxic last year. And I'll hold so you can make your pick.
Well, let's see here. Staring down the barrel of Cole Reagans, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to say no to that. That's another one of my guys that I'm just so excited about.
Yeah, I don't like these small sample size guys, but
yeah, it's okay.
Cole Reagans flashed last year, man. I mean, whoa.
Yeah, hard to not get enamored with a guy that can throw 100. Added a cutter, I believe, to his arsenal as well. Yeah, he's got really overpowering stuff, which like I really like to draft pitchers that I do enjoy to watch, and he's a guy that I really like to watch. All right, this is a interesting range.
There's a guy I love here.
Well, I do a lot of Joe Ryan.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna get Mitchie back. Yeah, for me, like if I'm looking between Joe Ryan, Quan Mullins, and Arenado, it's gonna be Joe Ryan for me every day.
Yeah. Well, and I think that too. I think that speaks more, like for me, more of a structural thing. Like if I'm in a position where I need Steven Kwan or Cedric Mullins in my outfield to help me right now, that team's probably dead.
It's probably
it's probably
yeah. Like Quan is awesome in real life. Like I love guys that just with great bat to ball skills. That's very cool. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Not how I'm trying to win an underdog baseball tournament.
No, and he was correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was a very high advance rate guy last year. Like
because he was pretty cheap, I think.
He was a little. I want to say he was like 20 picks later. I think he was going in the 110s or 120.
Okay, so not even that bad.
I might be wrong. Somebody in the chat.
No. I don't. I can't. I can't remember 23 ADPs off the top of my head, but
even like he really helped you advance, but he's not the type of player who's going to help you win the thing. You know, of course I say that, like Andrew Benintendi was on the winning team last year. So
Yep.
like,
And Quan,
anything
I
can
think,
happen.
I think, yeah, Quan wasn't. I thought Quan was, but it was Benintendi that I got a different AL Central outfielder in my on the mind.
Yeah, we haven't really commiserated about our Central Division pain that we have to deal with year in and year out. I'm kind of proud of us. I went on a mini White Sox rant, but poor
I
Carly.
yeah, I wanted to
Poor,
bring it up. I was
yeah.
very curious what your thoughts were on Cease. So you were probably really glad about the Cease trade for your bags, right? Because you had to be one of the largest Cease bag holders, I think, that I know of, right? Or am I
Like
wrong?
definitely was last year for sure, and that
Okay.
went very poorly. This year I'm at like 17%
Okay.
in the dinger specifically,
Something to be
which
excited
does,
about.
yeah, it makes him my like seventh or eighth highest owned pitcher, which still
Hmm.
feels pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty solid.
but yeah, I just think the change of scenery just overall is going to be a massive upgrade for him, and he's been really good in spring. Like
Yeah.
quietly has been absolutely dominant. So hopefully that'll translate to the regular season.
Guys like him, I just think, they're just worth taking shots on because their ceilings are so obvious, right? Like there's like, I mean, this is such an extreme example, but like Kyle Hendricks is never going to have like the K rate that Cease will ever have. And when you combine the Ks with the quality starts and the wins, I mean, it's so obvious who has the ability to just elevate like none other.
Yeah, and I haven't wavered at all on this guy at all this year. Not a single time. I've been on board the entire time. Haven't panicked or freaked out at all. Um, just kidding. I've been on a roller coaster of emotions with Carlos Rodon this year because I have been all over him all drafting season. And he had a couple like kind of iffy starts in spring where he was only throwing like 93 or 94. And I was like, oh boy, I am mega dead if this guy isn't who I think he is. And the
Uh-huh.
last two times out, he's looked really freaking good.
Thank
So
God. I've been taking them
yeah,
a lot more lately, man. I really have. As we kind of get an idea of who's healthy coming into the season and who isn't, I mean, he kind of stands out as somebody that's gonna, you know, brand or good or bad, he's gonna have to be out there, and I think you're gonna get a lot of good, even if there is some bad mixed in there with Rodon. I mean, they're gonna count. He's gonna have to be like a horse for them, and that's
he's gonna have to be. Yeah.
same with like Nestor Cortez too. I mean, I was always sprinkling him in, but now that he's opening day starter and with the Cole injury, which is really unfortunate. I mean, it's next man up there. So I don't know if that's like a good process, but definitely how I sort of look at pitchers. I'm like, well, who's healthy right now? And
Yeah.
all right,
Not many of them.
yeah, nope. It's very evident. All right, so I've got a lot of Musgrove, but we're talking about upside. Let's go Hunter Green
Yep.
for this pick.
Yeah. I love Hunter Green so much in this format. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's had trouble staying on the field. And I mean, he gets smacked around every once in a while.
He does.
But dude, you want a guy who could put up 70 points in one start. He's the type of pitcher who can do it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's like he's like the guy that just represents obvious upside, right? Like he's not like you're not banking on innings pitch and wins and quality starts. You're like, well, it'd be nice to have that, of course, but like you just know this dude has the ability to strike out like more batters in a single game than anybody else does. It's just
Yeah.
it's kind of cut and dry for me. All right, we're gonna keep the purple cranked, and now we'll go Joe Musgrove, who hasn't had a great spring,
No.
but I do believe in the body of work that he has, and I think a full season of Joe Musgrove equals a beat at ADP. So we'll keep things rolling with him.
Yeah, he does feel too cheap. And last year was so disappointing. I mean, for him to miss as much time as he did because he dropped a dumbbell on his foot, like
I know.
really among all of the other pitcher things we had last year, like that was just kind of the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So yeah, he hasn't looked great. And Turn Me Up is kind of echoing our point here about Hunter Green. He
It's
hates
true.
He hates that research shows that guys with super high velo can correlate to injury. Hope he can stay healthy. Kind of seeing higher velocity, maybe higher spin rates might be kind of contributing to some of these injury issues. But with how I'm drafting, I'm almost like I can't worry about that. Like that's not controllable. I just want the guys who can go out there and be very, very good at baseball if they're on the field.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, well, one of the biggest like piece of info to look at to correlate for innings is like innings pitch, and then also the biggest way to correlate or try to predict future injury is also innings pitch. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I'm a little actually. I kind of like forgot to draft outfielders for a minute. I got enamored with.
I do this all the time, and I think you're going to be okay.
I think so. I mean,
know.
Judge and Nemo together feels pretty good. I mean, I don't know how many more years I can be completely and totally let down by Eloy Jimenez, but I'm gonna ask for one more. I'm in for one more year of pain from Eloy.
I don't know if this is a good comp or not, but he's kind of like my Gregory Polanco, just an awesome, just awesome power. Like you see flashes of just absolute brilliance with the guy, but just, but man, it's just been such a rough ride for him.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy's just gotten injured in just some of the dumbest ways possible. Like, seriously. I'm convinced he'll play right field this year, and he'll run into a fire hydrant. And there's clearly not a fire hydrant on the field, but he'll find it if it exists. So, but I mean, the guy, he's got massive power. Like he's got 40 home run potential in that bat. Yeah, he just needs to be on the field and then just not be bad. So that's been a little difficult for him. I'm just gonna keep playing the hits here.
Let's go.
Taylor Ward's another guy. His price is getting up there a little bit. Do you have the Taylor Ward or Josh Young? I can't decide here. Let's do Josh Young actually.
All right.
Stack with Seager.
Yeah, good call there.
I think he should be good, right? I know he's had like a calf thing or something, right?
Yeah, it was a calf injury. Bochy said, this is per the blurb there. Yeah, Bochy said that the third baseman could be eligible to serve as a DH in the A game. He should avoid a stint on the IL to start the season. This is a major discount for Josh Young, who is the everyday third baseman, doesn't get platooned, and can hold his own with the bat. And the team is filthy. So
he was on his way to winning Rookie of the Year last year.
Mm-hmm. He really was.
He was there, and then he got hurt. So, Taylor Ward was the other guy I was really considering there. His price has climbed quite a bit, and like I'm okay with that. I have a lot of him, but
nice.
Young just felt right there to stack with Seager, especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been trying to get more Taylor Ward too. I missed out on the early prices of Ward, but his projections are a big time believer in his bat, which like I understand. I just think it's interesting that he really only showed like one really good season, and maybe the small sample of before he got hurt last year was promising enough in the StatCast profile, but just kind of find it interesting that they are such strong believers. But I opt to them the systems when it comes to Ward, and I saw enough too that I can get it. So these outfielders are gross, and I only have two, but I'm gonna stare the Avalanche in the face and go with one of my favorites in Vinny P.
There you go. Do it. I'm kind of surprised looking at the baseball's sheet with the projections and how these guys rank in underdog points or whatever. Last I checked, Vinny P kind of a little bit lower than some of the infielders in his range.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm a Vinny P believer. I think those projections might be a little too low on him.
I think so too, and I think it's just the lack of sample on him would be my guess. He does everything that I like a hitter to do, which is put good wood on the ball and have a good eye. He does both of
Yeah.
those things to a pretty elite degree. I guess maybe one of the biggest knocks you can say is the team around him isn't, fantastic, which sure, but everything else he does, I'm just such a big fan. Like the dude just refuses to strike out.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a pick here, and we're gonna play the hits, brother.
Do it.
Josh Naylor, come on down. Welcome
There you
to
go.
the squad. So this is
Come
what
up.
I've been doing, man. This is what I do a lot now, where I'm at 2 outfielders. I have 2 outfielders, and I'm just like totally okay with it because my mindset is I'm only starting 3 of these guys.
True.
I'm only starting 3. My flex, I have determined, I have made the choice. My flex is going to be an infielder, and I'm starting 4 infielders. So I want to make sure that my infielders are good and the best. Just treating it like wide receiver in NFL best ball. This could go very wrong. But my thought process is that I think that outfield in general, the rising tide lifting all boats. I think that we only needed to lift some of the boats. I don't think every single outfielder needed to get elevated due to the scarcity. I think that, I'm trying to weave my way through the drafts and find the right outfielders to put on a team just to be my outfield 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, we've ripped to this pitcher range here, Kodai Senga and Yuri Perez. We have not heard anything about Yuri Perez, and I don't like that. That does not bode well. I was loading up on Yuri Perez, and to watch him have to get his elbow looked at is just
a shame.
It is. It's just as a baseball fan, it has nothing to do with, the bags or whatever, right?
Right.
Just as a baseball fan, I wanted to see this kid pitch a full season.
You know what else is also kind of frustrating from a fantasy to take it back to fantasy is last season there was a provider issue, and it was impossible, or not impossible, but he wasn't on the first 8 slates that he pitched, and he was crushing. He was dominating, and I was like, for the love of God, let me draft Yuri Perez. Let me just take this kid, because I knew who he was. I knew he was a great prospect. I knew he was a great pitcher, and I never got the chance to draft him. And now, unfortunately, it sounds like we're probably not going to be able to draft him again this season, which is just crazy. Yeah. The bad luck that
it really
Miami has had with their pitching.
It really is. I am going to go ahead and force the stack. So I'm drafting a couple guys that I have virtually none of here. I just took Anthony Volpe, and I'm going to do a 4-man Yankee stack, and it is pretty rare that I draft 4 guys on the same offense. I will not be drafting another Yankee. I don't want to be too overly exposed to one particular offense. And even within my stacks as I'm creating them, I have a hard time getting 3 guys in one position, with the Diamondbacks, for instance. It's hard for me to do Walker, Marte, and Moreno. And now 3 of my 7 infielders are on the same team. And that might be a donkey thing, but it's just something I have trouble doing.
No, I think that's a correct way to think. It's a lot of eggs in one basket. We know the power of stacking, but I do think that you can really tip the scales in a bad way if you do overstack. And I'm guilty of it. Sometimes it's just easy. Sometimes I think it's fun, but it's definitely not, in my opinion, optimal. But I like what I've been taking more of a Verdugo lately. One of the best offenses that he's been in for a while. And he can hold his own. I don't think he's at risk of losing playing time.
He's going to get you 1,100 points, right?
Yeah.
It's just solid floor, I don't expect he's going to be, quote, the guy you need, but as a 4th outfielder, and I'm good with it.
All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and opt for a stack here. We'll take Lourdes Gurriel with this pick. This was tough because I'm staring down Key Brian Hayes, but I'm gonna stay my hand, and if it's meant to be, let it go, and he'll come back. If it's meant to be, if not, it wasn't meant to be, and that's fine.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I mean, your infield is it's
It's
pretty
loaded.
crazy.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Do we really need a 7th Key Brian Hayes in the 14th round? Like,
Probably
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that that's necessary. I think we're pretty well covered for the flex there. But like, that's what happens. I get so drawn in and targeted on these players of mine that I end up with a 35%. No regrets on the Key Brian bags.
No.
But, I might have to take Senga if he falls back here. Okay.
I mean,
This is tough. I don't know. I've been fully out. I've been fully out. Oh my gosh.
this is a tough decision.
Yeah, I actually don't know that I have the stones to do that. We're gonna pivot a little bit. We're gonna go Charlie Morton.
Chuckles? All right.
Don't have the stones for Kodai. Like I said, if it's meant to be, I'll come back and I'll take him then. But I kind of need every one of these picks to matter here and be certain that they can score points for me. I don't know, man. I don't know that the juice is worth the squeeze.
I feel like with the way you've built your team so far, and this is actually like starting like the 11th, 12th round, this is when the drafts are the most fun for me.
Yes.
Because by this, like you're halfway through, you've got some construct of a team going. Without even looking at the board, I know that I'm going to do a 6-pitcher build on this team because I invested quite a bit of draft capital to get Glasnow, Cease, Grayson, and Rodon.
Yeah.
And I did that at the expense of what I think is a relatively weak outfield. So this is for sure feeling like a 6-7-7 build. And in honor of the Badge Bros, boy, do I have a scroll the F down for you.
Oh man, you're gonna make us wait?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna make you wait. I'm gonna tease that bad boy.
Oh man.
Let's Jared Kelenich's dead because Adam Duvall's signing has eliminated him.
Yeah, I fully believe that.
Justin Turner is really boring and he's kind of old, but he's just a good hitter, man. Like he's another one of these guys, and I don't draft many Blue Jays, but I don't have much Turner. This is the team of like all of my guys at the top, and then guys I never draft a little bit lower.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking for a guy who can really hit the baseball here, and this range of outfielder that we've got right now is kind of ugly. I have an idea of what I want to do on the way back. I just didn't want to necessarily do it with that pick. I don't know.
No, I like what you. I like Justin Turner as well. I kind of backed off taking him as I've done more and more drafts. Excuse me. But the team that he is on, right? I mean, like projections love the Blue Jays. They think that the Blue Jays are coming back. And I hope you didn't forget about them because they're coming back with a vengeance. Obviously, I'm not so sure. But projections are damn near positive on that, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I got to be honest, man, I'm 1 year away from kind of being out on Vlad. Projections love him again, and I'm drafting him this year. I'm going to probably be even with the field. This guy in front of me just ruined my life by taking Brent Rooker. So let me panic and pivot here.
Yeah, focus. Go ahead.
You've got enough infielders, so I don't think you're going to take Eugenio Suarez, so I'll do it for you.
Nope.
But he feels good in that spot. I really wanted Rooker to come back. He fit this team very, very well. I'm just completely out on Giancarlo Stanton. I don't care if he fits with the stack or whatever. I really think he might be washed, which is unfortunate. Watching him play baseball was so much fun.
He's a ticking time bomb, anytime that he's up at the plate. But yeah, even if he does stay healthy, man, I'm not so certain that he's given enough to a fantasy team anymore, which is a bummer.
Turn me up saying you get an AARP membership just by drafting Turner. I was wondering why I was getting those in the mail lately.
But I agree with you about Vladdy though, man. Like I think I don't even know like what the comparison would be to him, but maybe it's because the expectations were so lofty for him coming in. I don't know, but I really think, and this is a high bar, but like if he's not slugging 500, I'm a little disappointed. Like at least for our game,
Yeah.
at least for the game, or the
Yes.
game that we're playing, and
Yes.
what we need for the draft capital there. Like I really need him to slug 500, and that just seems to be a challenge lately.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's the ground balls when certain projections will tell you that's just noise, and that everything else about what he's doing when he hits the baseball is giving you the projection for 2024. And it's not just one system, it's all the systems are trying to tell us that, hey, don't
Yeah.
give up on Vladdy. But I don't know, man. I think there's times where the eye test and what we know and what we've seen kind of trumps a projection system. But I don't know that. Then I wonder if that's just like hubris speaking or actual ball knowledge. I go back and
And
forth on this a lot.
I struggle with it, and I am still leaning into the projection this year. I'm probably going to wind up even with the field, around 8% or so with him,
Which I
and
think is
that's
fine.
cool.
Probably the way to play it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to fade him for sure because I
Mhm.
don't want to miss it when he does become that dude. But I
Yeah.
need to see it. We've had 2 straight years of just kind of and again, it's not meh for most players, but for what we were expecting out of him, it is just kind of like, okay, great, 28 26 home runs, something like that. Like that's it. That's what you got.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not going to get it done. I see you playing the hits here with Frelick and Davis back to back. I love that.
Yeah, we're gonna hit outfield with some major quantity here. We're at a 5.65 right now. Um, I'm gonna have to take some of my favorites and hope that they can kind of flip flop and ping pong in the regular season and maybe even in the playoffs for me. But there's I got some names back here that I've been wanting to pair together. So this will be fun to put them all just one big outfield of mid that gets my ringing endorsement.
Yeah, you've been talking a little bit about how there's some of these later, and this is a few weeks ago too, but there were some of these later round outfielders that you really liked. Henry Davis was a 20th rounder for forever, and we're seeing him go roughly where you took him on a regular basis. Um, but it seems like every week or two we have this like new guy who's like the guy. It was like
Mm-hmm.
Matt Wallner for a little bit, and it was Nelson Velasquez, and then it was Henry Davis. So I think it's just trying to like get ahead of that curve, but I feel like we're kind of running out of guys to get ahead of the curve on.
That's how I feel. That's why I'm taking Henry Davis in the 16th round, because I'm like, well, I know who all my guys are. Let me just try to, you can't take 3 20th round picks, like, well, I mean, you can, you just got to do it like this, which feels kind of weird and wrong because of what we think we know. But at this range, these guys are all the same, truly.
Yeah,
Some will do
yeah,
better
I
than
agree with
others,
that.
but
Let's go. I'm going to lean into the youngster Brandon Fott.
yeah.
There was so much hype for him coming up last year, and then
Mm-hmm.
he came up and was just kind of meh, but looked pretty solid in the playoffs, if I'm remembering right.
He did.
But this dude's got top prospect pedigree.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want to miss the breakout season. So 16th round, Brandon Fott. I've been working him in a little bit more lately.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of his 2023 season. A lot of innings, which is like kind of positive that that he was able to muster 150 total if you include his AAA numbers. And like has always been like a double digit K per nine pitcher in the minors. And then he comes in here into the big leagues and just gets absolutely shelled for to the tune of 5.72 ERA. The bright side is that ATC has him at a 4.3 ERA. Zips has him at a sub 4 ERA. So like people clearly believe in this guy's stuff, and you're getting him in the 16th round. Pretty solid.
Yeah. And our guy turned me up is all in on Brandon Fott, 38%, which is good. I'm going to let the system draft Joey Meneses for me here. Like last year, if I could delete a player from the player pool, he would have been it, right?
Yeah, he
He
was
was going in
expensive.
like the low 100s or something. We hadn't really
Yep.
seen anything out of him. And then he smashes in the World Baseball Classic.
Yep.
And then he goes out there and he just has a good season, with the bum knee. So the projections do not like Joey Meneses. The bat does not like him at all. But I kind of feel like he's just a decent hitter, like Justin Turner, but like 8 years younger.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot. Hits the ball decently well. Like a 563 slugging that's hard. And I mean, he did that in 240 plate appearances. I think you can expect him somewhere in the middle. I think this price is just right for Meneses. And, no one's expecting 2022 Joey Meneses when they draft him. I think the price is right here. And, man, this maybe is a bridge too far, but this is another team, the Nationals, that I can squint and just a little bit oh man, Lane Thomas, CJ Abrams, James Wood, Dylan Cruz eventually.
Yeah,
Eddie
I was
Rizzo,
just about to say it, man.
Keibert Ruiz, man, it's not all bad.
Could be decent. They need a lot of stuff to go right, but all those names you just mentioned, they could all be contributors to an okay offense. At least they're not bad,
Okay, my man Christopher Sanchez went way early. That's a
yeah,
bummer.
He did. That's crazy.
All right, I'm on the show. I might as well just keep pumping the hits, and we'll go ahead. We'll take Wallner, and I got more outfielders coming. We're not done there. We're not stopping. We're not stopping there just yet.
Is this gonna be an 8? Are we looking at an 8 outfield build here, Nez? Probably not.
I think I'm gonna stop at 7, but it could be 8. If I had, instead of Christian Walker, gone with a pitcher, and then I probably would be okay going 6, 6, 8. But I went with Walker at pick 63, and dedicated that pick to that. So we'll go 7 pitcher, but ideally, when you're drafting Frelick, Davis, and Wallner before round 18, you would like that to be to be an 8 outfield team.
Yeah.
Generally. But here we are. Okay, I need 2 pitchers here. I think I'm gonna just go down and get my guy Jack Flaherty. Been taking a lot of him.
Yeah, I've been at 0 on him, and then he started looking really good in spring, and I wouldn't be able to forgive this is not a reason to draft somebody, but I'm doing it. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I was a year early on him, because I think I was in the teens of ownership on him last year. I'd have to go back and look, but I was in on Jack Flaherty last year for a bounce back, and it just didn't really happen. So it's really nice to see him pumping some velocity again.
That's what I really liked. That is what has me buying back in, is okay, the velo is up. He got a good contract, and the innings that he threw weren't pretty, but he still threw 140 last year, which I'm glad that it's not 90, and now it's he was bad, and he threw less than 100. He got to 140. So at this point, man, like I said, I want a healthy pitcher, and he's at a good park, and I'm willing to buy in on him being an okay pitcher at round 18, Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm scrolling here trying to figure out who my 7th infielder and 7th outfielder are going to be. I'm just, you know what, man, you're playing the hits. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to push him up the board. I'm going to stack him with my Mets. Francisco Alvarez should not be going in the 20th round.
Love it. That dude can swing the stick, man.
Yes, he can. I like, there's a great Underdog username that was floating around. I think it was Big Beefy Baseball Boys or something.
Oh, dude, how awesome is that?
So perfect. But I love me some Big Beefy Baseball Boys, and Francisco Alvarez is one of them, man.
Oh yeah, he's the definition. Right? That's about as big and beefy as they get for the baseball boys.
It is. And I don't really love catchers in this format by and large. Like William Contreras, I love. He's easily my highest owned catcher, but
Nice.
actually Alvarez might be jumping him. Um, and I've kind of been thinking about like a theory in my head real quick, and I'll get this pick knocked out, and then I'll run it by you.
Yeah, I'm curious what this is going to be.
It might be dumb, but I don't know.
Oh, I know it's going to be good then.
Someone smart. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be lovely. Let's keep going down. And how funky do we want to get here? We don't want to go out and Duvall. I'm going to go ahead and just believe in where'd he go? Oh my God. Brenton Doyle having a nice little breakout season here. I don't really, honestly, we don't even know yet if he can hit.
Yeah.
But he's going to play half his games in Colorado. And they have a lot of games in, I think it's the final round. So I don't know. I'm just going to roll the dice there and make him my 7th outfielder because I gotta save my scroll the F down for the pitcher position here.
Oh, it's a pitcher? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
It's not. Is it a common name? Is it somebody that you talked about a lot?
It is not. It is a guy I have taken exactly once all year, and it was yesterday. So
it's not Fetty.
No, it's definitely not Fetty.
It could be Fetty Wap. It's okay. I won't be upset.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully I don't
not a believer.
Snipe you. I'm gonna have to because I'm going 7-6-7. Definitely decided.
Okay.
Are you where are you at on Gavin Williams? Do you think that he's okay in the 20th right now, or were you taking him before the injury?
I hope so because he is one of my top 5, I think, pitchers. I think I have him right at like 18, 19, maybe 20%. So
yeah,
I love Gavin Williams this year. He is way too cheap. And like the not committing to the scroll the F down bit part of me wanted to draft him there because it was the right play.
Yeah.
But, we're doing the show. I promised you a scroll the F down play. We're going to
All right. I appreciate you putting it on the line like that. Maybe if Williams comes back to me, I think that he maybe makes some sense in the 7th. I'm glad that there was no damage. Like as long as there's no damage and these guys just need like rest, I think that to me, I consider like really, really good news for these guys that are going through issues. That's why I have not taken Garrett Cole. I took him once accidentally. Since there goes Gavin. And Yuri, LOL.
Whoops.
I think it's kind of good, really good news that Garrett Cole doesn't have any structural damage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, we know he's going to miss a month or 2, maybe. And then even then he's going to start ramping up the throw. So 3 to 4 weeks away from making a start. And like the contest is basically over then. So he might as well be Max Scherzer in my view.
No, you're not wrong as far as like timeline and, prognosis goes.
You're on the clock, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. You know what, man? I'm gonna keep playing the hits. This is a guy I haven't drafted a lot lately, but a definitive my guy in JP Sears.
There you go.
Be pitcher number 7. I like this team. I'm really curious who this pick is going to be. I wonder if it's who I think it is based on a post that was shared in the baseball thread today.
It is not Craig Kimbrell. I can't stand Craig Kimbrell.
You don't like
that?
You don't like the wing?
White Sox hate because they acquired him to not close, and then he was absolutely god awful. They traded Nick Madrigal for him. Whatever. But God, he was so terrible for the White Sox when they really needed him to not suck. So I can't stand Craig Kimbrell. This scroll the F down play by no means is financial advice. I am not saying that anybody else should draft this person. But I was thinking about it, and then it just got kind of cemented that he may be a thing. So I'm excited for this one.
Oh my God, dude! It is a pitcher.
It is a pitcher.
All right. Can you give me the division? Are you worried Noah's going
Uh,
to snipe him? Or can you give me some sort of vague hint that I can guess at? Not National League or American League.
he's in the American League.
Okay.
And he's never started before in the majors.
And he's never started. Who the hell in the American League?
I'm so excited for this. This is ridiculous, but it's I mean, the brand will never be stronger after this.
Wait. Has he pitched in the majors? Just never started?
He has pitched in the majors. He has never started.
Oh my god, is he a White Sox?
It is
Yes, I knew
2024 opening day starter for the Chicago White Sox.
I knew
Garrett frickin' Crochet.
I knew it.
Garrett Crochet's stuff is disgusting. It is disgusting. There are so many red flags with this dude. He's just coming back off of, I think it's TJ. He's never started before. The White Sox are going to be a complete ass clown of a baseball team. They're going to lose 100 games probably. They have no reason to let him throw any more than like 160 innings, or maybe even 140. But this dude's stuff is disgusting, and it feels right. It's the 100th draft. I've got my man Nez on. We're scrolling the F down in honor of the Bad Bros. We're not giving financial advice.
No,
Garrett Crochet is the guy.
Dude, I love that. I mean, for what it's worth, right? Steamer, rose-colored glasses Steamer. They've got your boy Crochet, 11 starts, 100 innings, just about 10K per 9 with a 4 ERA. There's crazier picks on the board.
Yeah, he's kind of like the White Sox new version of Carlos Rodon. Truly, just really tall lefty, throws super hard, really nasty stuff. Maybe can't stay healthy. I don't know. We don't know. But this build, I think, was perfect for being able to do that. So let's recap the team real quick. And I've got this glitch right now where I can't view the full draft afterwards.
Yeah, the desktop, man.
Is it? Okay, so I'll have you recap yours, of course. But I went with a 6-7-7 build. I was in the 4-hole. The pitching staff is Tyler Glasnow, Dylan Cease, Grayson Rodriguez, Carlos Rodon, and Brandon Pfaadt. And I felt that was strong enough to where I could get my guy. Well, he's not my guy, but my scroll the F down.
He's your guy. That's your guy.
He's going to be my guy now. Yeah. I'm going to be like 6% on him and own like 85% of the teams that have drafted him.
Even if you have one share, that is your guy.
Infield, I've got Pete Alonso, Corey Seager, Gleyber Torres, Josh Young, Anthony Volpe, Eugenio Suarez, and Francisco Alvarez. So nice stacks there with the Mets. Little mini with the Rangers. Got a 4-man Yankees stack because my outfield is Judge Nimmo, Eloy Jimenez, Alex Verdugo, Justin Turner, Joey Meneses, and Brenton Doyle.
That's a fun team.
Give me a grade here, man. I think the fun grade, it's up there. But as far as just competitive in the pod grade, how are we feeling?
I think that this is a strong team in the pod. This is how I build a lot of teams when it comes to the outfield, volume and allocation. Just kind of build your outfield 3 in the aggregate. I like what you did with Judge and Nimmo. Those guys are going to score for you like every single week. Your infield is loaded. Your pitching staff is just full of flamethrowers. This is an 8 out of 10. I think you're definitely the biggest competitor in here to advance in this team, in this pod.
Appreciate it. But that's you know what? This team could not advance, and I'll just be like, Nez thought it was a great team. So
yeah.
Who really won?
Put that in your pipe. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I'll make sure to name mine the Woo Woo Draft so I can keep an eye on your advancing.
How'd your team turn out, my friend?
All right. I have a team from the 10-hole, 7-6-7. My pitching staff starts with Cole Reagans, Joe Ryan, Hunter Green, Joe Musgrove, Ground Chuck Morton, Jack Flaherty, and JP Sears. Infield, 6 of them, and boy, did we pay a pretty penny. Freddie Freeman, Ozzy Albies, Gunnar Henderson, Christian Walker, Vinny Pascantino, and Josh Naylor. We love first baseman around here.
Man.
And the outfield, 7 of them: Corbin Carroll, Evan Carter, Lourdes Gurriel, Sal Frelick, Hunter Henry Davis, Triple H, Matt Wallner, and Jock Peterson. Folks,
there you go.
That's how you build outfield in the aggregate. I don't know that I'm advancing, but it doesn't matter because we had fun, right?
Oh, we had so much fun. That infield was nasty. That infield was absolutely nasty.
That's fun. I think that's fun. We'll see what happens.
I still have to do the obligatory thing. I see a few of y'all still in here. If you could, please, if you had a good time here, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of these drafts, I've probably only got a few more streams because opening day is a week and a half away, thankfully. So, hit that subscribe button if you could. I do like to recap a couple of people who drafted with us, if that's okay, Nez, real quick. I'm just going to look at their teams on my phone here. So our guy Noah, Sock Muffin, he had the 5-hole. His pitching staff was Tariq Skubal, Justin Steele, your boy Mitch Keller,
yes, sir,
Bailey Ober, Erod, Brian Bayo, and AJ Puck or Pook. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Puck.
I say Puck. I don't know if it is Puck, but I've been drafting a lot of him lately because, like I said, he's a healthy arm and he's got good stuff.
Yep. Yes. Healthy arm is like, can we just tick that off? There you go. All right. You're in the pool. Infield, Jose Ramirez, Alex Bregman, Ketel Marte, Reese Hoskins, my guy, Andres Jimenez, Tyro Estrada, another one of my guys, and Josh Bell. It's really nice infield.
Yeah. Those are good late round infielders. That's how you wait and still do well.
That's a well-crafted infield. And then the outfield's good too, man. Betts, Michael Harris, Jazz Chisholm, Taylor Ward, MJ Melendez, and Brian De La Cruz. So this is a solid team. This is a really solid team.
Noah can draft, man. Noah can draft. He's going to help. You're going to see him top of these leaderboards here for best ball. I
see him smashing the daily streets, and I want to see him more in the best ball draft, but I don't want to see him in my drafts because I don't want that. I don't want that smoke. So
no, thank you. No, thank you.
And then real quick, my one last guy, my guy Braden here, a 7.76 build from the 9-hole. The pitching staff is Gosman at 64. I think that's a really good price for Kevin Gosman.
The price is right there. They're making it seem like he won't open the season on the IL, which would be a huge dub.
Huge. That would be huge. Logan Gilbert, Shane Bieber, Tanner Bybee, Bryce Miller, Yusei Kikuchi, and Nestor Cortez.
I like that staff.
That's good. Yeah. Infield's Bobby Witt, Jose Altuve, Nico Horner, Jake Berger, who has just flown up the board, man. He started in the 200s.
That's crazy.
He's a little too expensive for my blood now.
Me too.
He got your boy Key Brian Hayes at 160.
That's a good
Jeremy Pena and Jose Abreu. And then, so he did a pretty mega Houston stack here. Kyle Tucker, Brian Reynolds, Marcell Ozuna, Stephen Kwan, Jack Sawinski, and Austin Hayes. So a little pirate stack there too. So,
man, we had a tough lobby. These are good teams.
Dude, these are
no wonder
fun
my
teams,
team ended
man.
up as poor as it ended up.
Well, I was paying attention throughout, and the two guys who were kind of bookending you, just they had all the outfielders early. So they kind of forced you into, waiting in the outfield.
Yep.
And that's one of the things I love about these drafts is every single lobby is unique. Every single team is unique. And you just kind of, when people zig, you zag. Just build something different if it's not going the way you want it.
Exactly. We got over 100 bullets in this thing. So, just roll with the punches, build the best team you can with the lobby that you're given. That's the best advice I can give myself.
Yeah. Well, that was a ton of fun. And that was a really good draft. Able to get some friends in the draft. So, thanks to everybody who came. If you aren't familiar with Nez's work, again, he is one of the Badge Bros. Go subscribe to their channel over on YouTube. Also a contributor to the Stacking Dingers channel. A lot of great MLB best ball content on that channel as well. So make sure to subscribe to those guys. You can follow Nez on X at Nez Takes, NEZTAKES. Just a wonderful ambassador for the game, a wonderful ambassador for Underdog as a whole. And this was an absolute thrill for me to be able to meet you, chat with you, draft with you. This was a ton of fun, and it has been an honor to have you on, my friend. Thank you.
Jason, thank you for having me on. This is a long time in the making. Love what you're doing. So keep it up. This is great. Expect to see you are you going to be doing dailies when daily season comes around? You got enough saved for that?
Yeah, I think so. Might have to chat with the wife a little bit about increasing the bankroll for the dailies, but I'll definitely throw a few bullets out there because the dailies are so much fun. And baseball, you guys have said it on your streams. Baseball is the ultimate scroll the F down sport. Like
the ultimate.
You can stack whoever you want, and it makes sense as long as
it does. That's the best part. Is it's a good play.
Yes, there's so many ways to make your lineup unique and fun. Ben chiming in here, our guy Ben from Detroit.
My guy.
Though you're late, but you know what, man? Thank you so much for popping in. We had a ton of fun. Like the stream, and then make sure you check it out because this was awesome. So thank you guys so much, Nez. Thank you so much for being on. Really, really appreciate you, man. And I'll probably do a couple more of these before opening day, and then we just sit back and watch the fruits of our labor, so to speak.
That's right. And then we get to see all the great picks come to life and turn into advance rates. So this is fun, man. Looking forward to your future streams. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.